Hey everyone, welcome back to the next installment of Drink Up, Burn Down. Steve Kwan, Paul Horn, Chad Narati. Today, our host is Paul Horn. Paul, kick us off.
Welcome everyone to my backyard. We're in the
A different table.
New table, new setting. These guys were awesome enough to come out and visit me from California. We are here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'd show you behind us, but it's just raining. It's a bunch of cactus, so who really cares?
And it's cold as hell.
Who would have guessed, man? We fled to sunny Arizona
Yeah.
and it had to come and it had to rain.
This is BS,
Yeah.
for sure. I will tell you that I've been looking forward to this trip because one of my favorite places is Cigar King, where I get a lot of my stuff. And they do a good job in packaging and whatnot. But today we're able to stop by there and get this really beautiful ashtray. It's an Arturo Fuente ashtray, pure
Gorgeous.
ceramics. It is gorgeous. The detail of the artwork, you got to see the inside of it. But if there were any ashes in there, I'd flip it and show you. But there's some that you really got to take a look at.
I love the dominoes on the outside.
Oh yeah,
I love the dominoes. I love to play bones, so it's cool.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And today we are smoking CAO Brasilia in honor of World Cup.
World Cup, baby, 2022.
yeah,
So
yeah.
whoop! Who loves football?
Soccer.
Soccer.
U.S. and Australia, the only two countries, guys.
Okay, whatever. Tomato, tomato. Anyways, so this is a special box press Robusto. It's got a Brazilian Maduro wrapper, which I really, really enjoy. And also the binder, the filler are Nicaraguan, although this is a Honduran cigar company. But I think they did a really good job. And guys, be careful. This is a full flavor. I mean, it's gonna punch you in the mouth. But what I remember is that when you get to about the middle part of the cigar, it just opens up beautifully. So it's about a 10 out of a 10 in the full flavor. And what?
Intensity.
Intestine. I think it's the intestine. Yeah, sorry.
Intensity.
Punch you right in the gut. Intestine. That's what he said.
So the reason we did a full flavor is because of the drinks we're drinking. But it's not because of the drink I'm going to introduce. We're actually doing two drinks today, honestly, again, in favor of World Cup. We want to do beers around the world, right? So we're doing a German beer and a Belgian.
And a Belgian beer.
Okay, so first and foremost, you got on the left-hand side, Franziskaner, one of the original Hefeweizens from Germany. A fucking delicious hef. Like, if you have not tried this thing, I think Franziskaner and Polner, like every American hef you've ever tried is trying to replicate what these two have produced for so long. So, absolutely delicious. The cigar that we're smoking, though, being full flavor, is going to drown this thing out, right? Because it's just a really delicious, not overly fruity Hefeweizen.
You know, can I just comment on that? It tastes like somebody dropped a stick of butter in here. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
It's
Fucking
really
delicious,
good.
right?
It's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Alright, so the beer that will go well with this cigar, though, because there's so much flavor, Mr. Horn introduced again. It's his house, and he's bringing the dark beer.
Yep, we got the beautiful Patriots class to represent.
Not
It's a World Cup, and he's bringing football back into this.
It's football. It's a football episode, and we're doing football. Alright? Alright. Anyways, St. Bernardus ABT12. It's a Belgian quad. It's made by monks in a monastery. It's been the same recipe for 200 years. It is such a good freaking beer. Beer Advocate has this rated 99, which is the highest rating that they have. And it's one of the very few beers that holds that. And they've got thousands of beers on that website.
I got lie, man. It is so smooth.
This is good.
This is my favorite beer, hands down. There is no
It does go
equal.
well.
It does. I mean, I feel like if I drink that bottle, though, look how big that freaking bottle is. I'd be drunk.
Don't lie.
Come on.
This guy can drink like
It's-
20 of these and you
It's
won't
like
even feel
10 or
things.
12% ABV, so it is a little higher
Woo!
alcohol content than the other
It's
ones.
fucking tasty, man. That's delicious. Alright, boys. Can we get into the topic? We ready for that?
I
Absolutely.
think so.
Alright, so this is again. So again, guys, as much as I said we're going to do World Cup, we're not actually going to talk about just the World Cup. Like, not soccer or football in general. The point of this is there's so much controversy surrounding the 2022 World Cup.
Yeah.
So let's surface level talk about those, right? And I think, the point of this is, again, to drive home more conversation. between us and our viewers, and our conversation is going to extend well beyond this episode, right? Nobody wants to watch a fucking hour-long fucking episode. So this is short, sweet, surface-level discussion on each of these topics, and we hope you leave us comments. But Paul, kicks off.
All right, so I'm a soccer homer. That is my favorite sport. I was very excited for World Cup. That is like my Super Bowl times 10. However, not as excited for this World Cup. And the reason that I haven't been as excited is the controversies around Qatar, or Qatar, however you want to pronounce it, hosting the World Cup. We got moved from summertime to winter, so in the middle of the season, we're missing a lot of players. Like, France is missing their two best midfielders in Paul Pogba and Conte because they're injured from their regular season. And if it was summertime, they would have had time to recover, they would be playing. So we're missing a lot of good players this World Cup just because of injury.
So why aren't we playing in Qatar in the summertime?
Because it's 120 damn degrees.
And nobody wants to play soccer in 120 degrees.
And the fact that the location was selected based on bribery, I kind of have a problem with that. You know, I mean, FIFA's got to do something about it. But the one thing that really, hits home for me, and every time I watch a game, is that stadium that people are cheering and things like that. I mean, there's reports that up to 400-500 people have died, maybe even high as 6,000. You know, I mean, nobody can really give an official count. It's horrible, and the way that these folks, these workers were aimed to work on this at such a light speed, right? And these guys worked for 14, 15 hours a day. They were not treated very well. That kind of, settled me a little bit, on the downside, So with you, I'm not as enjoying this round of World Cup. A lot of bad taste.
Yeah, the lack of humanitarian effort, where there's so much talk about, rights for humans, and we're still seeing the atrocities of like what happened to these individuals that had to build these stadiums. And Qatar spent, I think, $12 billion to build these stadiums that are probably never going to be used again, similar to what we saw in China.
And they don't serve beer.
And it was 2 days. They banned beer 2 days. 2 days before the World Cup, they said no alcohol.
Did you see? So I'm a huge Twitter buff. Did you see Bud Light, who was official sponsor of the World Cup? Did you guys see their response? It was, well, ... This is awkward.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, just imagine the players, right? Like, I ain't gonna lie. After I played that hard, especially like the group stage, like the last night, I just want to go have a beer to celebrate winning and sitting there like it's.
Wait a minute. So time out. Wait a minute. Is there no beer in that whole country?
No. Yes, there is. The peasants don't get beer, but the corporate sponsors and the Richie Riches get beer.
Oh.
So this is very much a has and has not sort of situation.
Listen, guys, I right now want to just say, from now on moving forward, whatever selection, that country's got to have some alcohol, right?
Yeah.
You guys agree with that?
So, man.
That's got to be.
It's like a prerequisite.
Prerequisite, absolutely.
Yeah.
That
So,
sucks.
for me, guys, like it's an ultra controversial World Cup, right? I mean, they've already mentioned probably the biggest reasons why it's controversial is being in Qatar in the first place and building the stadiums. Which again, like we saw what happened in China, in Beijing. The stadiums are ghost towns. Like they're just rotting right now.
Yep.
After spending so much money to put those things together. Right, but I'm also half Iranian, and so what's going on in Iran right now is a remarkably big deal, like a massive, just civil movement for women's rights after atrocities, and the Iranian team themselves, just a couple of them went to the president's house and had a photo op, and the entire team's assumed to be in line with the current regime as opposed to the opposition. So the current regime was cool with them going. The opposition and everything going on in Iran hated the fact that they were there. Then the team in the first game didn't sing the World Cup, so the current regime hates them, and the opposition still hates them. Like they're in a no-win situation. Like they were literally half their fans were rooting for them to lose against the United States at the end of the group stage.
Agreed. It was tough. The one really cool thing watching that game though, and what I think was the highlight of the World Cup so far, was the defender from Iran, when they lost, breaks down in tears. And what does the American players do? They don't laugh at him. They don't make fun of him. 3 different players kneel down beside him and just wrap their arms around this guy that they have never met, never going to see again. But the stunning display of just human interaction was an amazing thing to see, especially given the political turmoil between Iran and the USA.
Honestly, it's kind of amazing to watch it. I think it's one of the reasons I think soccer is just so powerful. It's I remember it's more than 20 years ago. You had a civil war in the Ivory Coast. Literally go through ceasefire because Ivory Coast was in the World Cup group stage.
Yep.
Ivory Coast was eliminated, and war erupted literally the next day. Right, but they stopped fighting, stopped firing guns while their team played soccer, just to support their team. There's no sport. We in America love football. We live and die football. Well, football doesn't do that. Football can't do that. It's nuts.
It moves countries. It's amazing just to watch, and just the sheer number, billions of people are watching this World Cup. It's just crazy how much it just takes center stage for the month or so that it runs every 4 years. It's just insane.
Yeah, agreed. Hey guys, I want to just do a cigar check real quick because we're just around the foot third. It opened up pretty nicely for me.
Nicely, that thing's burning.
That is, well, it's a box press, and guys, if you guys can get box press cigars, go for it. Pay that extra $20 a box for it. I don't have a box press. It's the first time I'm actually enjoying one of these. I've smoked CAO Brasilia probably 100 times, and this is my first box press, and I'm loving it.
Yeah. It's a good cigar. So we have great beer. We have both Belgium and Germany. I feel
he did that backwards, by the way.
Oh, I did. That's funny. I feel like I should be pouring some out, but this beer is too good because both of them have been eliminated from the World Cup. So I feel like I should pour one out for my homies in Germany and in Belgium, but you know what? They did their best. It's been an interesting World Cup watching teams like Japan just light it up, and that's been great to see. It's been a lot of fun. So it hasn't all been terrible.
South Korea!
Yay! Shout out to South Korea, baby!
Woo!
Yep, that's right.
The one thing that I did laugh about, I had a good laugh, was this whole band thing. So you had Belgium, Germany, and England want to wear One Love bands in support of the LGBTQ stuff, and everybody do your thing, whatever your choice is, your lifestyle is, awesome, do your thing. FIFA the day before, just like they reversed on the beer, reversed on them being able to wear these armbands. And so Germany, in their opening photo, so before every game, each team takes a photo, and in their team photo, they're all covering their mouth like this. And they get their asses whooped by Japan. And then commentators asked different players, like Eden Hazard from Belgium, well, what are their thoughts? And Eden said, well, if they spent less time trying to make a statement and more time learning how to play soccer, they probably would have lost that game. They asked Neymar about it, and Neymar says, I don't know about the rest of the countries, but here in Brazil, we just love winning. So,
And there you have it.
It's been quite interesting. With that, guys, thank you for visiting me in Scottsdale.
So whoop! I love
Cheers.
it. World Cup, guys. Love it.
Drink
Love
up, burn down.